Yo, what's up? It's Trash Dog here from Trash Dog's Audio Vlogs. Picking up some stuff again. Gonna be making some more videos. Today, I've got the Behringer Studio XL monitor controller. I have been using a big knob for a very long time. I'll show you it. It's pretty old. And the struggle that I'm having with these is they're pretty hard to find. My buddy Joel and I have gone through this thing a few times, and I really don't love the newest ones. They're kind of expensive, like $350, and I couldn't find in store any of these other than used. Obviously, they don't make them anymore of the classic ones. So I decided, because this one has basically completely gone out, I've lost all of my clarity on the right hand side of my speakers here, and unfortunately I'm working on records and stuff, so I needed something soon and relatively inexpensive for what I need right now. I wasn't trying to spend $1,000 on a product of similar quality, so I decided to go ahead and get me one of these bad boys. I have been using a Behringer UMC 404 for a very long time, and love that device, but unfortunately some of my newer gear and my other pieces, my plugins and stuff, I was running into DSP errors, and decided to just go ahead and upgrade to the Apollo, which now I'm like, well, let's get this bad boy. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the box open here, and then we'll rig it up, and I'll talk about some of the functions and what I like about it, if or if I want to send it back. So let me grab a tool here. Always cut away from yourself, right? That's what they say. Okay, cool. So pop it open. Inside, just got the unit. I am not going to be using the interface settings or tools or anything like that at all. So if you want to see something that is about it being an interface, I would recommend checking out some of the other videos. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that disclaimer out right now. I'm going to just be testing this as basically a signal passing system to run my UA device into a speaker controller that I can run to both my Yamahas here and my KRKs. I don't actually have a sub in this room, but I just like to be able to AB on these speakers or run them together if I want to, because I like the way I've used them for a very long time. People, I'm not here to argue about it. I just really like the way, I think they kind of fill each other's holes. So that's, when I was unable to, in the UAD device, run the 3 and 4 output with control. Maybe I'm too dumb, so also if you want to comment below on a way to easily do that, but unfortunately I couldn't find a way that was seamless or allowed me to make sure I had the same gain staging across both sets of speakers, or wasn't a workaround within my DAW to send signal out that way. So I decided I want path of least resistance, and this is going to be it for now. And everything I'd kind of read about this was people were worried about the longevity of the unit. I don't necessarily need this thing to last me super long anyway, because I'm still kind of deciding what I'm going to do with my space in here in our studio downstairs. But so, from what I heard, the function of it is actually kind of better than the newest big knob. And I love this unit. I just am like, I can't keep trying to fix it, unfortunately, and they're too expensive to try to find. And so inside here there's a little box. Inside that little box is going to be our power transformer here. So I'll go ahead and save this for now, just in case I hate this thing. And then nice, you got USB A to B, and this is a nice cable. Same thing, I'm not using this, but these are perks as far as I'm considering. Okay, cool. And then, oh wow, nice. And an aux cable. Look, in a world where your iPhone doesn't come with a cable, Behringer out here just giving out aux cables and USB A to Bs. Love it. So that was basically on the right hand side of the box here. I'm going to go ahead and pull the unit out. Let me set this down. Okay, so I will say up front, I mean, this thing definitely weighs a lot less than the big knob, and that's what people were saying is, you know, they're not very rugged feeling. And to me, this unit sits on my desk. I don't plan on taking it anywhere. I don't really plan on having it around anything that's going to be detrimental to it. So I'm not as worried about its rugged nature as opposed to the big knob in function there. So it's pretty nice, you know, like I said, for sure it doesn't weigh as much, but as I'm getting it out of the cardboard here and you know, kind of looking at the unit, I'm definitely, it does not feel cheap. And Behringer gets a really bad rap, you know, and I think the thing about it is kind of like, at what point is consumer versus professional? It's all marketing, you know. If you're an audio engineer and you're working, congratulations, you're doing it, you know. And if you're out here trying to get better and better, that's all anybody's ever trying to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the camera real quick, set this bad boy down, and kind of show you what's going on with it for the time being. So I haven't plugged it in, obviously, but we'll do a little time lapse and I'll re-rig this whole thing up. But these are just the two units right next to each other. I mean, already you can tell it's a little bit wider, but it's definitely got a flatter profile than the big knob does. Overall, though, obviously you can tell this bad boy has been around. And it's dusty in the pre's, you know, you press the pot sometimes and you get some noise in your speakers and that kind of stuff. And another big part of this for me is I wanted headphone outs without having to rig up a headphone box in my space here, just because for what I do, a lot of times I have a client with me or I'm working with, you know, songwriting with somebody and we want to both be able to have easy headphones, and I didn't want to rig up a rack in here with a headphone box. So, you know, I just went ahead and did what I did with this. So right there, you got your headphones out, you got your stereo in, so that's where you can use that nice fancy aux cable they provided, which is very cool. So if you wanted to plug your phone in and just have it in there, and instead of having to run it off of, you know, your computer or anything like that, that's a nice add-on. Not something I would probably be using, but so right up here, this is going to be your UI or your interface controls basically. So same thing, we're not going to be really messing around with any of this at all. This is going to be our 2-track source selection. So we're going to be using, I believe, 3 and 4 here because it normals 1 and 2 into the interface. So we'll plug our UAD into 3 and 4, and then over here on the right hand side, you have our monitor select, and you also have a trim, which is nice. And, you know, so if you want to set your levels, and then it's the same thing, you know, if I set up a sub in here, I wanted to, I could still have it as a selectable, or if I upgraded to the KRK sub or one of the other ones, a lot of them already have kind of a unit pass through on them, but it is nice if you want it. And then you got your talkback. Here's your microphone up here. Same thing, it's nice. The UAD has a talkback as well, but again, I'm working in a very small space. I'm not really trying to talk back to anybody who isn't within the space of me. And then you got your mute. You got your mono and your dim. I like these buttons. Also, I'm pushing them down on my MacBook, so I should probably be a little careful. But, you know, all in all. So let's go ahead and have a back. Oh, let me turn the knob too. Forgot a very important feature here. Yes, okay, and that's what I was reading, is it's notched. So it's not like the big knob. Obviously, you can't tell. I watched a video about this too, and this guy was like, well, you can't really tell. But, so the big knob just kind of free rotates. This has a notch in it, which is nice. You can kind of tell by the way it comes through there. But for me, a lot of times what I do is I'll just leave this bad boy just, you know, at noon or whatever, and then I'll adjust my UAD volume coming in and out for, you know, a consistency across whatever I'm trying to look for within my speakers. But just, you know, I have consistent gain staging, and I'm not necessarily messing around with this too much unless I need to. Obviously, once you dial in your levels, you can find more consistency. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and have a look at the back of the unit here. So let's see if I can get the camera to focus. So we've got the USB in, which again, like I said, I'm not going to be using power on and off, which is exactly what I love. It's going to be powered by itself. You can use an external talkback mic, which is kind of cool. I don't necessarily know what this recording SRC selection is, but I'm assuming that, you know, that's in regards to it being used as an interface. Okay, and then interior, exterior, so that's if you wanted to turn this microphone on here. Got a foot switch, not something I'm going to be using either. You got your outputs here. So these are what's selectable on the top half, your monitor A, B, C. And then you've got your studio phones amp. Okay, if you wanted to go to another headphone output, which is kind of nice. And then you've got just a regular 2-track output again if you're going to something else. And then you've got this nice little +4, -10 button, which if you know what you're doing in regards to your speakers and stuff, that's regarding what your interface is. If it's +10 or -4 in your speakers, most units, depending on what they have a different type of setting on it. You can look on there, and then you just want to make sure that these are matched up with whatever you're doing. So for instance, I know my Yamahas in the back of them have an option when you're turning the knob to either have them be +10 or -4, or sorry, -10 or +4. And so, you know, that's the function in that. And then same thing here for your sources. So I'm pretty sure, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure the Apollo is -4 output, but I'll have to look on that before I set it up, and I'll probably recorrect myself with a voiceover on this or with a text thing on the top here. And then, yep, so you got your sources in left to right, and then you got your 5, 6, so if you did want to set up something different here. And then you've got your inputs here for the interface if you're going to be using that, and it has the Midas preamps in it, which is cool. If, you know, I use I got an M32 downstairs, and that thing, you know, works pretty good, and those pre's are nothing to you know, scoff at, in my opinion. Okay, cool. So I got it all rigged up here. Personally, I don't love my cable stitch back here, so, you know, I'll probably do something about that. I'll tell you my biggest pet peeve with this bad boy right here, and I demoed actually the other unit, the original one, and this is the 2, or Gen 2, and I'll make a video about that as well soon. But the power supply is just so finicky. And like, not that it gets moved around a bunch, but even like little stuff like that. So, okay, we're all in. See the buttons light up. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and set my monitor to noon here. So that's at 12 o'clock. And then I'm gonna just go ahead and pull something up on my laptop. Let me push this here. Okay. My phone's dying, so let's try to get something in quick. Here we go. This is some new F&Gs. If you've never heard of them, that's not my problem. We're coming in through 3 and 4. Now I should be able to select A.
Hated myself when I woke up late this morning. Got a haircut, but I don't feel any different. Did I daydream that you called out to my number? Choke cold sleep, what I might remember. Find a light, re-inspire. I'm not here. Trace the wire, deep signal that I'm doing fine. I hurt myself. Could you give me more time? Looking for all the exit signals.
Okay, cool. So in function, everything is working. I think right now I just got to figure out getting my levels matched between the two speakers. But this is exactly what I was looking for, and I don't hear right now. I haven't done a real test on it, but I'm going to do that, and I'll do a little recap on this. But I'm not hearing any distortion of the signal or anything like that. You know, we're able to get some pretty loud gain and, pretty loud sound coming through it. Obviously, there's a lot of different gains going on in here, but you know, we're able to get the volume that we're looking for. And yeah, I'm very excited. I'll report back. Well, to you, I'll report back and right after this. So the Behringer Studio XL monitor controller, in my opinion, not too bad. I had to kind of set some gain and you know, check the levels across the thing. I would say the biggest thing to find out for yourself is just what your interface output level is, and then double checking on your speakers. And you might have to do a little bit of working to just find the match. But once I found it, my first initial thing was I thought that I was losing some high-end clarity, but that was just within my gain structure. So once I kind of got all those levels across the board adjusted, I didn't feel like I was losing any quality across my UAD coming into the Behringer just as a monitor controller, which is fantastic. That's what I was a little bit worried about. As far as the UAD goes, like I said, I'll make another video on that. But I personally, before this, you know, I'd been using the same rig with the big knob, and then right when the big knob went out, because I was finishing up a record for a client of mine, and I had to switch over to just UAD out of one set of speakers, basically. And so I got a good experience of just listening to the device coming out directly into this, you know, into a set of speakers as well. And now that I have the Behringer set up for the monitor controller and replace the big knob, it's definitely night and day difference, because like I was saying, I was losing the whole right hand side of my audio on the big knob, and there was just a bunch of noise in the pots and that kind of stuff. So with the upgrade, well, not even an upgrade at this point, just with the different piece of gear to facilitate my needs for this, I would say definitely if it's something that you're looking for, if you've got a few sets of speakers, you have a sub, or you've got something like that, you know what I mean, and you want to hit in that market, then, you know, definitely worth it of a grab. It's got a 2-year warranty, so in my opinion, if it goes out, I just currently was working on a record, so I needed the gear today, you know, or the day after. But yeah, TDAV gives it 14 magic cards out of a bunch. Yeah, thank you.